Robbie opts for some evasive action. They don't come much bigger than these Colossus. Two 95-ton mining dumpsters headed to iron ore mines in the northwest of Australia. At $2 million each, these reconditioned beasts will replace others coming out of service. Every day they're not working costs the mines thousands.
We could run into bushfires, you could run into smoke houses, you run into windstorms, you don't know what you're going to run into.
From Mackay on the central Queensland coast, these two mining monsters will take 9 days to crawl almost 5,000 kilometres across the top of the continent to Port Hedland in Western Australia. 190 tonnes of mining machinery prepares to cross the continent.
Where are you at, Jules? Yeah, right, just watch me tail swing when I'm coming out. I might use this trailer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just keep watching the left when I come out of it. Clear the end of that fence?
Yeah, it's still about a metre to go and you've got plenty of room both sides.
With 30 years' experience transporting giant loads, Athel's seen his cargo getting bigger each year.
They've gone from big to huge in the last 20 years. The bigger the truck, the less people they've got to employ, so they reckon, but most bridges are still the same.
The oversized convoy approaches the small town of Richmond in Western Queensland. Its narrow streets are lined with dangerously low power lines. For Brian, it's a chilling reminder of the disasters that happen if their calculations are wrong.
I was on the ground winching the crane up onto the trailer and just got too close to the wires that were there along the side of the road. It just arced, and because I was on the ground, it earthed down through me. 3 months I was in hospital. Had several operations. Lost a fair bit of my right hand. They cut stuff out on my side. Much to everyone's surprise, I went back to work and still doing it.
Brian has plenty of reason to be anxious. His 5.4 metre tall rig has just half a metre to spare between it and the ageing power lines, each carrying 33,000 volts.
Just watch this one here, actually, it's a bit low.
You keep it over to your left, Brian, keep that.
Oh, that's the hardest work I have to do today, I'll be happy.
There's still 1,500 kilometres of outback roads for the enormous convoy to travel.
On the toes here, bro, line up first of the skinny ones.
And up ahead is a series of narrow single-lane bridges.
Which are barely wide enough to take the trailers. We've only got about that much either side to play with.
If Brian's calculations are correct, their wide load should just scrape through.
You guys shut up for a minute while we get across here.
Yeah, a little tiny bit to the right if you can, right?
Best I can. We're over.
But in the rear is Athel's monster 95-ton load.
You got 2 inches on the right.
Are you looking at the right, Julie?
Yeah.
How come the goalie just run up on the bridge?
The back is going to set.
Look down the side of the trailer! There we go, the back end there, fellas. Yeah, we're away.
After 7 days on the road and 3,400 kilometres travelled, the convoy closes in on Port Hedland. This is Australia's hottest year on record, and it's also had its worst bushfire season ever.
So it's well off to the right, I don't think it's going to be any bother to us.
Having traversed the entire width of Australia from east to west in 9 days, the convoy has its final destination in sight. At last, they make the unloading yard at Port Hedland. The masters of heavy haulage, Athel and Brian, deliver their giant cargo.
We've got the loads here, undamaged, unmarked. That's what it's all about. Getting the stuff here ready to use. We made it here, mate. That's the name of the game. We got here. All good.
3 trailers, 87 bales, with a gross weight of 90 tonnes all up.
Comes at quite a large risk on hot days. Wheel bearings getting hot, or overheating brakes, or self-combustion.
The wet hay, under the fierce sun, undergoes chemical reactions, building heat like a compost pile, and the bales can catch fire. But with drought-stricken farmers desperate for his load, Jacob is undeterred.
All done and loaded, and we'll get out of this paddock and get weighed and on the road.
Dawn and dusk are notoriously dangerous times to be on the road. Jacob will need to be on high alert for wild animals and oncoming traffic.
Whoa.
Suddenly ahead, a truck has strayed dangerously across the road.
That was scary. Yeah, bloody shit myself.
Up ahead, another hazard of outback roads.
We're just about to drive through a dust storm. Sometimes it gets so bad you only can see 50 or 60 metres in front of you.
High stacked and high mass, Jacob's load is under threat of being toppled in this dust storm, with wind speeds of up to 80 kilometres per hour.
The wind has really picked up in the last 10-15 minutes. It's really throwing the truck around. They're trying to push her off the road. That's when you kind of start getting a bit worried.
He's made it through the dust storm, but now Jacob's faced with another chilling reminder of the dangers of the job.
A couple of weeks ago, a hay truck caught on fire just here. It had a collapsed wheel bearing, which caused it to drop embers everywhere, and then it's lit 3 different fires along the way. Overnight, Cobar had a pretty severe storm, and looks like it's going to be a little bit more during the day. If the rain gets any heavier, it will affect the load by getting it a bit wet, and might add on a tonne, 2 tonne onto the load. Looks like everything's in order, so we'll be right to head off for the morning. Just coming up to the final haul into Inverell. Then we'll go to the cattle sale yards and split the trailers up.
Jacob breaks down his rig and unhooks a trailer, as restrictions only allow him to haul one at a time on the road into the farm.
One trailer off, and then come back and get the B-double set.
To make it to John Sutton's farm, there's another obstacle Jacob must overcome.
I've just got off the phone to John. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one getting up a hill. The hill's quite steep. I'll just put my cross locks in just in case. Give us a bit more traction up the hill.
With the cross locks in place, all of the rear wheels will rotate at the same speed to hopefully provide more traction.
Losing a lot of traction. Bit of a run up. I won't want to go up another gear. Losing a lot of traction. Nearly gonna just make it, I'd say. Looks like we got up. Kind of gets a bit of excitement for the morning. Hey, John. How you going? Yeah, good to meet you. Oh, we'll unstrap her and start and unload then, I guess. Yep.
Recent rains have brought new life, but looks can be deceptive.
Looks green here, but it's obviously just a green tinge with no feed cover at all, just mostly weeds and...
Yeah, it's usually what happens, isn't it? And just nice crop of weeds that come through that don't have much nutritional value in them at all.
So I got the first load off and I'll go back and get my other trailer.
The Suttons now have enough feed for their 200 cows for the next 10 days.
8 bales going out every second day. Happy day for the cows today. They'll come running down from the hills and that for that. Hey girls, come on. We do this every 2 days. Lucky you got a quiet mob.
Long-haul trucker Glenn Hasegawa has a monster move on his hands.
I'm guessing that's the digger there. He told me an excavator. Pretty sure that'll be the one.
He's shifting a $500,000 65-ton digger, used for large excavation work on mining sites. On his journey, Glenn faces a series of one-lane bridges, each only 4.1 metres wide.
You've only got 100 mil either side to play with, and you don't want to hit the sides because it just tears your tyres open. We're off.
Glenn is faced with one of his most difficult challenges so far. Squeezing his 4-metre wide trailer through a 4.3 metre wide bridge.
To a 5 metres southbound Oversized under bridge supervision.
Because of the size and weight of Glenn's load, he's required to cross single-lane bridges like this at 10 kilometres an hour and record it on video. The process is called bridge supervision.
Maple Springs Creek will be under bridge supervision. I hope that's right. Right, we're going to move.
There's no room for error.
Oh, the narrow bridges, they're only 4.1 metres wide. We're 4 metres at the wheels.
On the right.
It is. It wouldn't want to be much wider. If you hit them, they're going to just tear your side of your tyre open. How'd that look, Meg? All good?
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, no,
Next morning, it's an early start. Ahead of him lies the most difficult bridge of the journey.
The Will Air Bridge will be the slowest one because it's quite long.
At over 150 metres long and just over 4.1 metres wide, Will Air Bridge tests even the most experienced of truckers.
We're 4 metres at the wheels. We only got 50 mil either side to play with. Coming up to the last one now. These tight little bridges. I don't think we've scraped. That's a good sign. Just caught the side of the trailer. No drama.
Glenn's 700 kilometres from his destination, the coastal town of Port Hedland. But he still doesn't know exactly where the drop-off location is.
The only mystery left is address and phone number. But hopefully we'll sort that today. I like to let the customer know beforehand how we're travelling, when we're going to be there. Oh look, there's my phone message, and he might have just heard me and sent me a message. Let's have a read, see what he sent us. We've got a number, a name, so I'll just give old mate a ring, tell him where we are. G'day, that Derek?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Glenn from Slingshot Haulage. Mate, how are you?
Good, man.
Got a nice big digger on the back of my truck for you.
Exactly. Whereabouts are you now?
30 K's out, 40 K at the most.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you very much, Derek. We were a bit kept in the dark a little bit on that one. just about there before we got what we needed. But yeah, all come good in the end. He's got his machine, I'm happy. Everything's got there in one piece, we haven't broken anything. Powers that be are happy, and you know, you think to yourself, yeah, we did all right on that one.
Over 35 houses are waiting to be sold and relocated. The timber houses are in demand. It can be cheaper to relocate an old home than to build a new one from scratch. Darren's team have to carve it into 3 pieces, load it onto 2 trucks, and move it out tonight. From Narangba, outside Brisbane, their final destination is the remote Sondela cattle station, over 1,000 kilometres away in North Queensland. Robbie's right-hand man, Shane, is preparing to shift a second house from the Gold Coast to the same remote cattle station. After a century of service, the vintage farmhouse is a fragile cargo.
A lot of bracing to go on it because of the distance we're going. A lot of rough roads up that way to make sure everything's packed so it doesn't get bouncy.
Time is running out.
Yeah, 10 minutes down and we haven't made 10 metres, you know. So.
It's already midnight by the time both trucks are ready to move.
Jump in the truck, let's go.
But just as Robbie gets moving, his oversized load meets an unexpected bottleneck.
You a rigid or a semi, mate?
Semi.
Carver won't fit between you and them signs.
Shane has the second house loaded and on the road.
The chase is on.
With Robbie caught in a jam, Shane gets the jump on his boss, hitting the highway first. By daylight, Robbie's anxious to get through Rockhampton before the morning rush hour.
So we really want to get moseying. Traffic's going to start getting really bad.
Rockhampton's roadworks soon turn a crawl into a standstill.
I have to pull this sign out. Give us a hand. Like that way. Just let it go.
With police approval,
Just come back behind me if you want.
Robbie opts for some evasive action. Moving a house through Rockhampton during rush hour isn't earning Robbie any new friends.
Yeah, you picked the wrong time to come through here. Unless you advise main roads, you shouldn't have to be driving through here.
You do, mate. Got a permit. Main roads gave it to us.
They notified this workshop, did they?
They meant to. You should take it up the main roads.
Oh, well, mate, thank you.
But the final 20 k's of dirt are threatening to destroy it.
The house is over 100 years old. Like, it's a nice old house, and it's travelling really well, but the corrugations is what really tests the house out.
Just get right out of it now.
Now that he's hit cattle country, every fence line he reaches has a cattle grid, causing more vibrations.
Yeah, the driver's side, Robbie.
The cattle grids aren't really made for houses, so steady will lift up, go over them.
Neither Robbie's house or Shane's, 40 kilometres behind, were ever designed for a life on the road.
Hello? Apparently you got sparks coming out of your trailer.
Shane's second driver, Darren, is in trouble.
Got sparks coming out.
It's one thing after another. That's what the sparks are. The brake arm just came off. The thing has just broke off. It doesn't matter, we just get rid of the arm. There we go. Chuck that near you.
Darren's trailer still has 5 working brakes to stop his 40-ton load, just enough to complete his journey safely. He and Shane are pushing to catch up with their boss, Robbie.
Yeah, we'll just keep going now till we get there.
Robbie finally arrives at the station gate after a 1,000-kilometre journey.
Oh, yep, into that paddock.
But the final hurdle could be the most challenging. how to navigate the sandy paddock without getting bogged.
Well, it's all just bull dust, like you can see, it's just sand, you know, so we don't want to stop or we'll just bog down. Very soft. So dry and dusty here. It's hard, just you get bogged so easy.
But there is some good news.
Am I coming in over there where you are too, Robbie?
No, Darren's gone in like straight ahead and around, and your bit ends up further over, so you'll get in real easy.
We're gonna have to get a tow. It's just so soft. It's going nowhere. You reckon you can pull us in the loader? Get him hooked up and get him dragged in. You want to take the weight on it? There you go, I got a couple meters. Meter. Yep, hold it. Right, Jack! Get straight! Out of there!
With both houses now in position, Robbie's team dig the holes for the supporting stumps.
We just dug the last of the holes, so we'll get this unloaded. Let's see who finishes them up first, eh? Well, it's good to see you giving it a crack, mate, but this one's joined, it's ready to go. We'll be stumping soon. So, yeah, mate, I'll see you at the pub.
We'll see, yeah, we'll get the pub first.